Hey everyone, Tesla elaborated on its robo-taxi plans, and I think this provides some really good insights for Tesla stock investors. Of course, if you're investing in Tesla stock, one of the primary reasons is the probability of the robo-taxi, right? If you value Tesla as just a car company, it doesn't make sense. It's way more expensive than most car companies. So this is the reason. This is the reason that gives Tesla that premium valuation, or one of the reasons that gives Tesla that premium valuation. So let's learn more about Tesla's robotaxi plans and the challenges in overcoming to reach this full self-driving technology. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. All right, so one of the primary challenges is going to be the regulatory hurdles, the laws to get its self-driving cars on the roads available in states and countries worldwide. And Tesla saying there's already a handful of states that have adopted autonomous vehicle laws. There's already driverless cars on the roads today. You can see them in various cities, including San Francisco, Las Vegas, and Phoenix. They're already out operating. So Tesla's not going to be the only one with this technology. Now, they expect that these states and the work ongoing, as well as the data that's coming in, will pave the way for a broad-based regulatory approval in the US. So Tesla believes that these companies that are already out there testing, driving, collecting data, that's going to help streamline and pave the way for Tesla to get into these states and operate. So Tesla feels like the road ahead will be opened for it before it reaches the ability to offer the full self-driving, which seems like what they're hinting at here. Elon Musk jumps on to say that it's actually been pretty helpful that the autonomous car companies have been cutting a path through the regulatory jungle. They've been operating in San Francisco for a while now, which is true. They've been there. They've been operating, collecting data, finding areas of difficulty, finding challenging areas that need to be overcome. And Elon Musk is saying that's helping Tesla because that's allowing them to come in behind these companies. Now, that's interesting that in this case, Tesla doesn't mind being not the first mover, but in other cases, they want to be the first mover. It's an interesting strategy here for Tesla, not being alarmed or not being threatened by the fact that there's already companies ahead of Tesla in developing full self-driving and driverless cars. Tesla still believes that their technology is going to be better once they have it fully operational. So he goes on to say, if you've got at scale a statistically significant amount of data that shows conclusively that the autonomous car has half the accident rate of a human driver, then that's difficult to ignore because at that point, stopping autonomy means killing people, which is true. If you've collected enough data that proves these autonomous cars are safer than human drivers, then by withholding them from the roads as a politician, you're actually contributing to more accidents and more injuries on the roads. And already, I would suggest that for a certain segment of the population, driverless cars might be safer. I mean, you're on the roads just like I am. You see some of these drivers that are driving 140 miles per hour on the freeway, switching lanes and all kinds of dangerous driving. Some of those individuals may need to have their driving privileges revoked and only allowed to be inside driverless cars where they can't drive because they're not safe drivers. And so there could be a kind of segmentation of the population where if you're a really good driver with no accidents in the past 5 years that you were at fault, with no tickets, with no, driving under the influence tickets, and if you have any of those, your driving privileges could be taken away and you could be relegated to only transportation via self-driving cars. So that might be some pathway to, incrementally adding more and more driverless cars on the roads and incrementally removing certain drivers from the roads, and that way making the roads safer overall because you're removing the worst drivers and you're adding safer drivers to supplement that, and you're making the roads safer for everyone. So I agree with Elon Musk here in this statement. So going on, Elon Musk elaborates on their business model for robotaxi and saying that you can think of it like a combination of Airbnb and Uber, meaning that there will be some number of Tesla cars that Tesla owns itself and operates in the fleet. And then there will be some number of cars, and then there will be a bunch of cars where they are owned by the end user. Meaning there will be some cars on the road, some robo-taxis that are owned by Tesla. And so when you reserve a ride in one of those, Tesla's the one that's going to get paid, and you're going to be paying Tesla. On the other hand, there's going to be some of those cars that are on the road that you're going to reserve, and those might be owned by your neighbor or your friend, and you're going to be paying them for that service, or they might allow you to use it for free without paying them. So you might be able to, let's say you're a family of 4, you might be able to allow access to all 4 family members, and in the morning the car drives me to work and then comes back and drives the kids to school and then comes back and drives and then picks up the kids from school and then picks me up from work. And all day we're just using that same Tesla car, summoning it wherever we need it, instead of it how it is now. If you own one car, if I take it to work, it's going to be parked at work and nobody else can use it. And it's just going to be sitting there being wastefully occupying space. And I might even have to pay for parking, which makes it even worse. Not only is it being wasted in use, it's not being used, but to make matters worse, I probably have to pay for parking. And if you live in or work in one of the downtown cities, parking can be $30 a day or something ridiculous like that. So if you have this driverless car fleet and you own one of them as a family, you could get by with just having one car, where previously a family of 4 may have needed 2 or 3 cars if you have older kids. Now you could get by with maybe just one car. So and that brings up the next point is, would that be really good for Tesla if the necessity of the total number of cars drops, right, by at least half? If the projections on what Elon Musk and Tesla have been putting out there, where each one of these cars are going to be used 10 times more than they were used previously, then that necessitates lower demand for cars. Because if you're going to be able to use the same car for all of those purposes, households don't need 2 and 3 cars anymore if they can just use one. So that's something that Tesla hasn't talked very much about, the demand for total vehicles. There's already an oversupply of manufacturing capacity for vehicles. And if they do come up and complete this robotaxi ambition, then there's going to be a huge imbalance, way too much supply for the demand that exists in the market. And I suspect Tesla's not going to be the only one with the robotaxi technology. So there could be another problem brewing after or if they develop that. But it's an interesting business model to have it be like Airbnb or Uber. As an investor, I would prefer Tesla do completely like Uber, or, like an outsourcing model where Tesla doesn't own any of the vehicles. Tesla's just allowing users to share with each other. And that way Tesla doesn't have, because each vehicle is tens of thousands of dollars. That's a lot of capital it'll need to hold in those cars. It'll be more profitable in terms of return on assets if Tesla outsources that to all of its owners of its vehicles. So really interesting stuff here. I really hope they achieve this. It'll be really good for everybody that uses the roads. Roads will be safer. You'll be able to have more availability of transportation. And I think it'll be good overall. Just hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.